drive, but boy will they test your patience with constant repairs that you will have to do. Whether you own a Boom Vader, a Telltale Hellcat, or an Ice Bear Forza, this is one upgrade you're going to want to do ahead of time before you're caught stranded on the side of a trail or a road. Today's subject is the Cush drive. What is the Cush drive, you might ask? Well, the Cush drive is a series of rubber blocks in the rear hub to help absorb the shock from on throttle, off throttle, and kind of give your chain a little bit of a break. What happens is these factory Cush drives will deteriorate. They're made of a much lower quality rubber, and they will straight crumble, and you will feel it as slop in the rear wheel. So we're going to address this today. I'll show you how to take it apart, what parts I use to fix it, and then we'll get it back on the road and see how it rides. Tools you will need are very, very simple for this project. You'll need a 17 and a 14 to take off the rear axle, and a 13mm to loosen the rear tensioners. After that, the wheel should come off. Step 1. Jack up your bike.
The first step is jack up your car.
So using the 17mm and the 14mm, I'm going to start to break the rear axle loose, and then I'll grab my 13 and move on to loosening the rear tensioners. What this will do is allow the axle to have a little bit of free play and reduce tension on that chain. So we'll go ahead and pull the axle the rest of the way out, paying attention to the orientation of the tensioners and the bushings and where exactly they sit. Please take care to make sure that your axle stays in order with your retainers here that keep this aligned on the bottom of your swing arm, your tensioners with the long portion out, and your bushings on the inside of each of the tensioners, okay? And that should do it. Okay, simple as that. We got the wheel removed, so let's go ahead and remove the sprocket, and I'll show you what's underneath here. So, this part of your hub is what holds the Cush drive in place. And you can see mine are absolutely falling apart, especially after this 212 install. So, yeah, they're all pretty much done. They're all in pieces. So this is gonna be a much worthwhile upgrade. Oh yeah. Looks like we had a couple survivors, but still not too good. For my replacement, I'm going to be using some OEM Honda bushings for this. Part number 06410-KWB-600. This is about $7 from Revzilla, Partzilla. I think Steady Garage has these pretty much anywhere. Just look for the best price and pick them up. They're all about the same. There are some companies that make aftermarket upgraded bushings, but I don't really see a need for that, as even some big 4 Grom guys are running these on their bikes still. So I think our 212 will do just fine with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at these, see just how much better they are than the OEM ones. So definitely you can see that this rubber is just it's a lot softer, where the OEM Grom rubber has a much higher density to it. So this is going to help. I think this will last a lot longer. So definitely get rid of these things as soon as you can. So let's go ahead and install these things, and then we'll go ahead and jump to installing this thing back in the bike. As you can see, there's a small bridge that connects these, and that will go over the top of each of these bars. Alright, bit of a tight fit, but they are in there. So let's go ahead and get our sprocket back in place, and then we will run the axle back through this and get it mounted up. Just a real quick tip, something that I found out the hard way. The brake caliper actually has a slot that it channels into. You can see it right there, and then there's a tab that will slot into that too. So before you go trying to shove this wheel back in place, make sure you align your brake in that slot, and you'll have a much easier time getting this back together. Okay, so something important is that we want to make sure that our chain slack is correct. We want about 30 to 40 millimeters, and right now we are looking kind of tight. So what we're going to do is loosen up these tensioners and then get it to where it needs to be and tighten it back down. I'm going to get it just tight enough until I can straighten this wheel out. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we are done tightening this thing up. We got our chain just about right, about 30 to 40 millimeters of slack. So now we are going to torque the rear axle, which is at 44 foot-pounds of torque, and that will complete this install. Last step in this process is tightening down these rear tensioners. You don't have to go crazy tight with these, but you do need enough to make sure that they are snug and not going to move. All right, that is good. All right, so we are all installed. We're going to go ahead and check the slack on this thing and see how it's doing. We got the bike in gear, and feeling way better, a lot tighter, and this is going to definitely transfer to a better feeling ride on the road. So thanks for checking this video out. Hopefully you found this somewhat informative. I know for many of you clone owners, this rear Kush drive is a big issue, so definitely this is a worthwhile upgrade, especially for the $7 it cost me. I could definitely tell a difference out on the road. Even just getting on throttle, I could feel the front wheel wanted to lift up easier, and it felt a little bit less sloppy, I guess you could say. Because before it was like on and off throttle, like the rear wheel, it did feel like it had a lot of slack in it. So now that is totally remedied, and it feels great on the road. So highly recommend doing this for those of you experiencing these problems. We do have some big content coming in the future. David and I have been working really hard on a video for all of you from our recent trip. So keep your eyes out for that, because that's going to be a good one. We really hope that kicks the channel up to the next level. We're trying a lot of new things, a lot of new editing styles, and this should be a big one. So we really hope to see you there. So as always, we thank you for your support. We thank you for all of you who view these videos, like, share them, leave us positive or even negative feedback. As always, we do love and appreciate any feedback and insight you might have for us. But that's all for now. So we'll see you next week. Peace.